We live in a world that is, honestly, obsessed with data. We believe that if we can just gather enough information, if we can just process enough numbers, we can predict what is going to happen next. We built computers to model the weather, the stock market, and even our own behavior. But deep down we know something that, well, the machines do not. We know that at the center of everything there is a terrifying randomness, a chaos that simply cannot be calculated. The physicists call this entropy. It's the tendency of the universe to slide from order into disorder, from structure into dust. And for thousands of years, human beings have tried to build a machine that could stop this slide. A machine that could reach into the chaos and pull out a single coherent story. We didn't call it a computer, we called it divination. So, to understand why someone might throw stones on the ground to decide their future, you really have to understand the second law of thermodynamics. This law basically says that in an isolated system, disorder always increases. Over time, information just kind of degrades into noise. This actually is the physical definition of anxiety. Anxiety is high entropy, a state where you have way too many choices, too much noise, and no clear path forward. When you feel lost, your internal world has basically become a high entropy system. It's like you're drowning in the gas of possibilities. So you shuffle the deck, you cast the runes, you look for a sign. Now the skeptic looks at this and just sees superstition. They see a desperate person playing with toys. But if we look at this through the lens of information theory, something else is actually happening. Because the person at the table isn't really trying to predict the future. They're acting more like a physicist. They're actually attempting to become what's known as a Maxwell's demon. Back in 1867, the physicist James Clerk Maxwell proposed this fascinating thought experiment. He imagined a tiny demon that could control a door, and by sorting the fast molecules from the slow ones, this demon could, in theory, create order out of chaos, all without expending any energy. In other words, he could reverse entropy. In this context, the diviner is that demon. The shuffled deck is the gas, pure chaos. The spread or the ritual, that's the door. And the interpretation? That's the sorting mechanism. By assigning meaning to the random fall of a card, the diviner separates the signal from the noise. They're cooling down the system, so to speak. They're reducing the entropy of their own mind. This isn't magic. It's really thermal physics applied to psychology. And once you start to see it this way, the tools themselves, the cards, the coins, the stones, they stop looking like toys. They actually start to look like sophisticated analog computers. 3,000 years before anyone invented the silicon chip, the Chinese created what you could call a binary computer. They called it the I Ching, or the Book of Changes. It's built on a simple code, Yin and Yang, 0 and 1, a broken line is 0, a solid line is 1. When the mathematician Leibniz, the father of modern binary arithmetic, saw the I Ching, he was, honestly, just stunned. He realized that the 64 hexagrams were a complete binary mapping of every possible state of existence, from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But the I Ching does something our computers, really struggle to do. It calculates the derivative of reality. It doesn't just tell you where you are, it actually tells you the vector of where you are going. It identifies these moving lines, the moment when a situation has reached its peak, and, well, must inevitably flip into its opposite. This is the tool of the strategist. It's used when you need to align your actions with the thermodynamics of the universe, to find the path of least resistance, and really, to move with the current, rather than against it. If the I Ching is, the computer code of reality, then the tarot is the user interface. It consists of 78 cards. When you shuffle them, you are actually creating a permutation space so vast that it exceeds the number of atoms in the known universe. Quantum mechanics tells us that, Until a particle is observed, it exists in a superposition of all possible states. The tarot deck, just sitting there on the table, is also a kind of superposition. It contains every joy, every tragedy, every archetype of the human experience all at once. When you draw a card, you are, in a sense, performing a measurement. You are collapsing the wave function of the deck into a single localized reality. The physicist David Bohm argued that the universe is a hologram, that the whole is contained in every part. This is the implicate order. The tarot spread is a holographic projection of your own subconscious mind. It allows you to see the hidden architecture of your own narrative. This is the tool of the psychologist. It excels not at predicting events, but at revealing the shadow self. It creates a story where there was only confusion. But sometimes, you don't need a story. Sometimes, you are in a crisis. The Germanic tribes developed a system that was not about narrative, but about force, the runes. Runes are not pictures, they are vectors. Fehu is mobile energy, kinetic. Isa is ice, stasis, 0 Kelvin. Thurisaz is destruction, high entropy. Unlike the tarot, which uses a grid, runes are cast. Their meaning comes from where they land in three-dimensional space. A rune touching another rune modifies its physics. Fire touching ice creates water. This is the tool of the crisis manager. When the house is on fire, you don't read a poem. You calculate the vectors. You ask, do I stand or do I run? In the steppes of Central Asia, there is, well, a system that functions almost exactly like a digital sorting algorithm. It's called Kumalak. Traditionally, it uses 41 stones. The diviner divides them randomly, then subtracts them by 4s, using modulo arithmetic. The remainders are placed on a grid. The grid maps the human body. The top row is the head. The middle is the heart. The bottom is the feet. It's a diagnostic machine. But, in the Bon tradition of Tibet, and later in Mongolian shamanism, they introduced a variation. The LDU Frul. They added a 42nd stone. This extra stone changes the topology of the system. It represents the void, the control variable. It introduces a spin state to the calculation, distinguishing between black and white pebbles. This is the tool of the Diagnostician. It's used to scan the body and the earth for blockages. It's precise, mathematical, and honestly, pretty ruthless. And finally, there's the most physical of all methods. Dowsing. Here, there are no cards, no stones. The tool is the human body itself. Science calls this the ideomotor effect, unconscious muscle movements triggered by the subconscious. But why does the muscle twitch? Some theories suggest we are sensing magnetic gradients like birds. Others suggest we are using signal detection theory. The dowser sets a mental threshold. They walk the field, filtering millions of sensory inputs: humidity, smell, magnetic shifts. When the integrated signal crosses the threshold, the body fires. The rod moves. This is the tool of the engineer. It is for binary questions. Is there water here? Yes or no? It bridges the gap between the intuitive brain and the physical muscles. Why do all these systems require a shuffle? Why must you throw the stones? Why can't you just choose the cards you want? Because of chaos theory. Complex systems are, well, sensitive to initial conditions. The butterfly effect. By shuffling, you are introducing pure chaos into the system. You are breaking the control of your ego. In that split second of the shuffle, when the cards are in motion, you are opening a door. You are allowing the acausal connecting principle, what Jung called synchronicity, to enter the room. You are acknowledging that you are not separate from the universe. You are entangled with it. The card you draw is not a prediction of a fixed future. The future hasn't happened yet. The card is a mirror of now. It shows you the hidden pattern of the present moment, and by seeing the pattern, you change it. We live in an age of high entropy. We are bombarded by noise. The ancient technologies of divination were not designed to take away your free will. They were designed to give it back to you. They are tools to collapse the wave function, to take the paralyzing infinity of what if and reduce it to a single actionable what is. If you need to find something, be the sensor, Dowsing. If you need to know your health, be the Diagnostician, Kumalak. If you are in a crisis, be the warrior, Runes. If you are planning a strategy, be the general, the I Ching. If you are lost in your own mind, be the Narrator, Tarot. The universe is chaos, but you are the Maxwell's demon. You have the power to open the